The vision of the Air Force Academy is to be the Air Force's premier institution for developing leaders of character. As a group of cadets, we felt that we can better accomplish this goal, especially with the 4th class training system. This is the most important training because it sets the tone for the rest of the cadet careers. Additionally, in only 1 year of the 4th class cadets will be leading in the crucial role of coaching. It is crucial that the Air Force Academy train and develop 4 degrees is not a one-size-fits-all concept. The first step of this project was to collect evidence. To do this, we surveyed a broad range of cadets. We surveyed wing staff leadership, all the other classes, and air and collegiate athletes. 47 out of 50, or 94%, of cadets do not believe that the current 4-degree training system develops them into leaders. However, 100% of cadets feel that it creates cynicism. 90% of the cadets would support an individualized training plan for 4 degrees if it is implemented correctly.
No, not necessarily. Freshman year training, as much as we like to like it because it is tradition, is a lot more intentionally time consuming than it is anything actually related to developing you as a sophomore. Very rarely do you see that. In fact, the only time you actually see that during freshman year, at least I felt with mine, was during after recognition. So once recognition had happened and they're starting to coach you on how to become a coach, is when we first started to see that sort of training arise. But freshman year training does not seem to relate to anything else.
Yeah, freshman year is pretty challenging. It's definitely something I'm proud to get through, but I don't feel like it really improved me individually. I think that a lot of the things that we did were kind of pointless. They tried to stress team orientation, but it really didn't get to me very much.
In a sense, yeah. So I was an IC freshman year. As ironic as it is, people would get pissed off at you for not being there for pointless training. So any sort of training sessions and stuff like that, it didn't really seem to serve a purpose.
Pretty much everything we did just gave me a terrible attitude, and the worst part was that everyone around me had a bad attitude too. So just everything just makes you super cynical, and it's just a lot of pointless stuff that you look at and you're like, why am I doing this? This isn't making me better at all. And that attitude just goes through everyone, and it's a chain reaction, cynicism, for sure.
I think that would work well.
I feel like that would be really beneficial.
That'd be awesome, and that's what we tried to do here. We tried to really, at least our squad comm, really pushed onto their flight staff, their chain. Hey, show up, support your people, especially the ones that need it, and some were really good about it, and it's no shocker the ones that had their staff show up were the ones that were excelling a little bit better than the ones that were left out, to fend for themselves. So I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I definitely think that'll be really helpful, especially since if you can get the sophomores to buy in, it'll get rid of that whole lost 3-dig year where they don't really have very much responsibility, and whatever training thing, they just went through something that they all thought was stupid. But if you have something that's more individualized, I think that it'll mean a lot more to the sophomores, and they'll be more willing to buy into it, and having that added responsibility will also give them a greater sense of that they're being a good leader, and it'll definitely work on their leadership as well. But I think it helps because it's not just this generic plan that everyone's going to be going through. It'll be more individualized, and I think that people appreciate it a lot more than what we have now.
You would have to make sure that it was tailored so that it could be something that was accomplishable, or else obviously they wouldn't be able to accomplish it if it wasn't, or make sure that they were setting realistic goals, but it would give them an opportunity to develop themselves during the year instead of having all of the focus on the group as a whole, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but there still needs to be a lot more like self-development through freshman year, which there isn't pretty much at all.
I feel like if a coach, has the incentive to really help out their 4 degree from like a sincere desire, that would be a heck of a lot better. I feel a lot of times a lot of 4 degrees fall through the cracks in trainings. For example, there's a few 4 degrees that I know that one, for example, just struggles with military, not bearing, but just what the military means. They haven't had anybody in their family be military. It's like they just lack that aspect, or another one just completely not physically fit at all.
Yeah.
And every case is different. So I feel like that would really help each 4 degree progress, and it would be a great opportunity for the coach too, just to hands-on how to help someone in their area of weakness, identify that weakness together with them, and then make a plan to overcome that. It would depend on what type of plan it was. If it was, for example, an academic plan, that might consist of me as a coach checking in on them every T day. For example, if they had a class on an M day. Yeah. So that off day, I check up on them. Okay, how have you been studying for this class tomorrow? Did you get EI if you needed it? Or identify an area of weakness in that specific class or academic area. If it's more physical, it can be, practicing the PFT with them once a week.
I like that.
So I feel like it could be, with the option of a coach to make a personalized training program, they could, work between themselves how it could, be worked best. But as far as accountability for the 3 degree, I feel like if there was a reporting system that, along with the war report, you reported to your element leader, I feel like that would kind of keep coaches accountable, at least thinking about how their 4 degree is progressing, if they have that training plan or not.
We want to utilize path goal theory to help develop 4 degrees become more invested in their own development. The current training system forces all 4 degrees to adapt to the training and survive, rather than developing. Currently, every 4 degree is subject to the same training regardless of their physical or mental needs. Through path goal theory, the 4 degrees will be able to set their own specific goals to turn their weaknesses into strengths. After conducting surveys and interviews, we found that the biggest obstacle to this proposal will be cadet support. It must be implemented correctly. To meet this requirement, minimum standards must be met. To increase cadet support, we are going to use shared leadership through the wing to decrease the power distance between wing staff and squadron leadership. Instead of telling squadrons what their 4 degrees must do, squadrons who want their 4 degrees to meet their best needs will have the flexibility to determine the standards that must be met. To overcome implementation difficulty, we are going to further utilize the Vroom's expectancy theory to sell this proposal to upperclassmen. We will show them how their efforts will lead to the desired outcomes of developing 4th class cadets and preparing them for their 3 degree year in a meaningful year of training instead of a current system which creates cynicism and a survival mentality. Additionally, Adams' equity and organizational justice theory illustrate that our proposal will unite the class. Currently, 4 degree training is conducted in time periods wherein collegiate athletes cannot practice. This creates a strong division in the 4 degree class called as the TIZO gap. In our proposal, everyone will be working together to accomplish their individual goals. They can support and share each other's success. Finally, our proposal uses the motivation through job design theory. 4 degrees will be more motivated because they don't feel like their time is being wasted. They will be developing meaningful goals and will be satisfied by using their time in a meaningful way.